Hey there moviegoers, it's your pal El Movie Master with a new DVD and Blu-ray update for the month of November. Now, while it may be November and this is an update for this month, there are purchases here that go way back to the month of August. So you'll be seeing a lot of stuff here, but keep in mind that all this stuff is from August to November of this year. I don't do as many purchases of DVDs and Blu-rays as I used to, so there's still a lot of stuff here that I want to share with you guys though. The first ones are two Blu-rays that I came across at Walmart last month in October, and I was super excited when I saw these. I had no clue they were available here in the US, and that is Jackie Chan's First Strike and Rumble in the Bronx. For the first time ever, they're available here in the States in Blu-ray. I don't know if they're available elsewhere, but it's the first time we've ever got the chance to own these two on Blu-ray. I paid $7.55 for each one. And I had owned these movies before on DVD, but the DVD transfer of Rumble in the Bronx, the one that I had, was a letterbox version, meaning that I would have to zoom in order to see the full picture on a plasma screen. And of course, by zooming in, the picture quality suffers a lot. And Jackie Chan's First Strike, I remember having it in a really old New Line DVD, which was anamorphic, but the quality was really, really bad. Now, Jackie Chan's First Strike is not one of my favorite Jackie Chan movies. It's an okay movie, it's entertaining, but you can tell it's heavily edited for the American market because there's an alternate version called Police Story 4. And that's the Asian version, which I've never seen, but from what I hear, it's a much more superior version to this movie. I remember seeing this when I was a kid, and when I was a kid I loved it. But rewatching it now, it's just action scene after action scene, and there's very little to no plot. The same thing can be said about a lot of the Jackie Chan movies, at least the American films, but this one is probably the least memorable of his American films. But it looks great on Blu-ray. If you're a Jackie Chan fan, do check it out. But Rumble in the Bronx, this is perhaps my favorite of Jackie Chan's American films. Even though this was a Canadian production, if I'm not mistaken, because even though it takes place in the Bronx, I think it was shot in Toronto. This movie's great. It has some of the best stunts from Jackie Chan. It's highly entertaining. It has aged very well, and the transfer is marvelous. It's a big improvement over the DVD. Now, I think you can still find these at Walmart. I got it last month in October, so if you're a fan of Jackie Chan, you should give yourself a treat and buy these two on Blu-ray. Now, the other one that I got in the month of August. And this is perhaps my favorite American Jackie Chan movie. I know I'm in the minority here, but I like this film. It shines another light into Jackie Chan's acting capabilities, and that is The Protector. This movie came out in 1985. It was directed by James Glickenhaus, who you may know from the movie The Exterminator, which was a grindhouse film released in the late 70s. This movie, I remember seeing it in the early 2000s in VHS. And I had already been exposed to a lot of Jackie Chan's work, and most of the work that I had been exposed to up to that point was mostly comedic action films that he's known for. But this was the first film that I saw where it shined a different light into Jackie. It was very gritty, action-packed, and they kind of showed him as a serious, character. And while the movie does have a lot of problems, it is kind of cheesy in certain areas, not so much in the acting, but at least in the script. Some of the things are just too convenient. The movie is my favorite because it just shows Jackie Chan in a serious role, very dark. However, we've seen him done that now with movies like Shinjuku Incident, 1911, and many others. But this was one of the first ones where you see him as a police officer, very much to what you would see later in the movie Police Story, which I do say is my favorite Jackie Chan movie entirely out of his whole filmography. Police Story is my favorite. But of his American films, I would put The Protector as number one. But that's just me. I know a lot of people will not agree with this, but I like it. I like the score. I like the fact that it's not just choppy fighting skills. It's actually very real and visceral. And the Blu-ray quality is great. Sadly, this is not available here in the States. This is a German Blu-ray release. It is all regions, so you can play it here in the States. And it brings both the Asian version, which was a version that was released a couple of years later in the Asian market, because Jackie Chan did not like the American version. The version that was released in Asia was heavily edited, but they did reshoot extra scenes to make the film look a little bit more friendly and more typical to what we have been exposed to. I don't like very much the Asian release. You can tell it was shot a couple of years later, and the scenes they just don't work well together. And the reshoots, while they look nice, it doesn't fit with the tone of the movie. So I prefer the American version. And you can't find the movie on Blu-ray. There is a version that was released back a year or two ago by Shout Factory. They released a double feature that contains Crime Story and Protector, both in one Blu-ray disc. But this one is great. If you do want to find it, I think you can still find it online through Amazon, the German site. And I think I paid $20 for this one. So, yeah. The next one I got was, this I got also in the month of October. And I got this mainly because I saw the trailer for this movie, and it looked like a ripoff, like a direct ripoff of Star Wars. And that is Space Raiders. I haven't seen this yet. If anybody knows about this movie, please let me know. Because I saw the trailers, and it looks hilarious. It looks like a Roger Corman production. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. It looks so cheesy from the trailers, but what it says here, it's he's 10 years old, and they've taken him 10 million miles into space. This looks also like a ship taken out from like Star Trek or something. Like over here, I know you can see it. But yeah, if anybody knows about this movie, please let me know. The next two I got at Big Lots. I always go to Big Lots to find any Dragon Dynasty releases or any of the Asian DVD releases that you wouldn't typically find elsewhere. And every now and then they do have some. And they had these two. I picked this up rather recently. I think I picked these up last month, like really late into last month, probably like 2 weeks ago. And that was Once Upon a Time in Shanghai and The Suspect. I had seen a trailer for The Suspect, and it looks like an Asian version of the Bourne Identity series. The trailer looks really intense. If anybody knows about this one, this is released through Wellgo USA, both of which they're kind of like a market that releases a lot of Asian martial arts films, a lot of Donnie Yen movies. I've never heard of either one, but the covers called my attention, so I paid $3 for each one. If anybody knows about these, please let me know. The next two, I was hunting these down for the longest. I'm a big spaghetti western fan. I love westerns, and I'm going to be doing another western DVD collection update because I've gotten so many since the last time I did my last review of my western collection, which I have right next to me. That's why I'm looking over here. And these two I've been hunting down for the longest, and these are out of print. This is called Jamango, and this one's Gentleman Killer. I started bidding these on eBay, and I always lost the bid. The bid will always start at $12, and eventually got so high up to like $150. I was like, no, thank you. I like westerns, but not that much. So I got these two used for a fair price, which was $20 each, and that's a fair price. And I know this one goes as much as like $80 or $100, but I got this mainly because I like this company. Wild East is known for remastering and doing great transfers of old spaghetti westerns, and the person who sold this said that it was in fair condition. And the only problem is that I think in the sleeve it's like had a little bit of a watermark. You can't even see it, but it's kind of a little bit bent here, and that's the only reason I got it cheap. But the movie looks great. You can tell this is like a really low budget western. I love westerns. I know there's people out there who don't like them as much, but I do. So these two are great find. It kind of completes my spaghetti western collection because I've been hunting for a lot of the Wild East DVD collections. So the next two are more. Actually, the next three are more recent releases. These are some of these movies that we're more excited for. Some of them not as much. And the first one is perhaps, I would say it's the best movie of this year, at least in terms of action. And that is Mad Max Fury Road. This is the 3D version. It brings a sleeve, and it brings both the Blu-ray 3D the Blu-ray and the DVD and digital copy. Being that I do not use digital copy, I like to give them out to you guys. I'm going to give you guys out, I'm going to do the favorite right now, I'm going to give you guys out my digital copy for Mad Max Fury Road. So, here it goes. Are you ready? Look closely. There you go, it's going, and it's gone. So yeah, Mad Max Fury Road, I love this movie. This movie was great. It was relentless. I own all the original 3 Mad Max films on Blu-ray as well. I saw all these 3 in preparation for this one. And while this one isn't exactly a direct sequel, it's more of a continuation of the story. It's so well done. I like the fact that it has practical effects. Everything looks intense. It's just one big action sequence, and it works very well for this movie. I like Tom Hardy in the film, and I love Charlize Theron as the character of Furiosa. So this movie was wonderful. I will be watching this many more times later in the future. The other 2 that I got is Furious 7 and Jurassic World. I wasn't too crazy about Jurassic World. I thought this movie was okay. I love the original trilogy. I'm one of the few who likes Jurassic Park 3. But Jurassic World wasn't terrible, it's just not very memorable, and there's a lot of problems with the script. A lot of, like, convenient factors placed in for no real reason. Like, they can turn on a car that's not been used in 20 years. How are the tires still working? How is the oil, the gas in the car still functional? How can the kids use that little, rotating thing through the park and not get killed by the dinosaurs? A lot of stupid stuff, but it is entertaining. I love the last 15 minutes of the movie. So I'm going to give away also the digital copy for Jurassic World. I haven't even opened this. So bear with me, because I'm going to give also away the Jurassic World digital copy. Here is the digital HD copy of Jurassic World. I love watching movies on Blu-ray. I don't mind watching movies online or digitally, but this is not something I'm going to be using, and I know my viewers out there might enjoy this more than I will, so feel free to use the digital code. Whoever gets it first, it's yours. So here is Jurassic World. It's going, it's gone. So that's Jurassic World. Very entertaining, nice little film. It's not great, it's just a nice addition to the series. I found it more entertaining than Terminator Genesis, which was really awful. The next one, as I said, is Furious 7. Furious 7 was a very anticipated film for me because I wanted to see the closure to the Paul Walker character. I wanted to see how they were able to give closure to his character. And they did it well. This is a special Walmart exclusive. I'm not sure if this has a digital copy. And it does. So I'm going to give this one out also. Yeah. So get ready. And did you get it? Did you get it? Okay, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. So those are the only 3 I'm going to be giving out. Hopefully you guys got those codes. So, if by any chance you weren't able to see those codes, just message me. Actually, if anything, I'll put them up on Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook. I'll leave the description, the link on the description down below. You can check it out there. So Furious 7 I enjoyed a lot. It was very entertaining. It's probably the most silly and ridiculous one of the whole franchise. I mean, you have a car jumping through buildings, you have people riding their cars outside of a plane, parachuting them out. Very crazy stuff, but it works for the franchise, and I think they did a very nice tribute to Paul Walker at the end. So it was a great movie. I enjoyed it. But for me, even though they're going to make 10 more, I don't know how many more they're going to make, for me this is the end of the franchise. I wasn't really into this franchise for Vin Diesel. I actually enjoyed it for Paul Walker. Say what you will about the guy as an actor, I liked his performances in the franchise. I think he gave a good light to the character, And I enjoy him also in various other films, like Eight Below. He was also very good in a movie called Bobby Z, which is very underrated. I think it's great. He was also really good in Into the Blue, which I own over here. He did a lot of good movies, and it's a shame that he passed away. So while he may not have been an amazing actor, I think he did great in the performances that he gave throughout his career. So it's a shame that he passed away. So next one up, it's a movie that I originally had and I lost because through the moving, I was originally living in another area, and when I moved down here, I lost some stuff. And this movie is hilarious. It's a guilty pleasure, and that is Hercules in New York with Arnold Schwarzenegger. This movie is hilarious. If you've never seen it, check it out. It's a funny movie. It's pretty much Hercules is bored up there with Zeus, and he wants to come down and see how the Earth is. And Arnold has the biggest accent in this film. Like, he has a big Austrian accent. He's like, I'm very bored here. I can't do anything. That's a really bad impersonation of Arnold, but the movie is hilarious. It's very some parts are unintentionally hilarious, and other parts are intentionally, but it works very well. Really good. And it has his original audio track because there's a version where his voice was dubbed, and this is the actual original, and it makes it just much more hilarious than it actually is. So, Hercules in New York. So, let's see what else I have here. Next one I have here is a movie from Steven Spielberg, which is called Duel. I originally had this movie on tape, and just recently I got it on Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray I have not checked out yet, but I've seen clips online, and it looks great. They did a nice transfer from the clips that I've seen. And if you've never seen this movie is basically a guy being chased in a car by a big truck. And you might think that's the dumbest idea ever made, but this is Steven Spielberg's first film, and it just shows how much talent he has. He knocked it off the park with his first film. It's really great. And I also picked up this movie called Killdozer, which is a really bad movie. It's not that great. It's actually a bulldozer that goes crazy and starts killing people. But I enjoy it for what it is. This is actually through the Vault series of Universal, so it's a DVD-R. It's burnt on demand. I used to have this movie on VHS. I no longer have it, but now I have it on DVD. Nice little addition to my collection. The next two are not very good movies. I haven't seen one of them, and it's Things and Black Devil Doll, and it also has Tales from the Quad Dead Zone. Tales from the Quad Dead Zone I've never seen, but I've seen many clips online and on a documentary called Adjust Your Tracking, where they talk about how rare the VHS copy of this movie is. I've seen Black Devil Doll, and I think it's from the same creator, and Black Devil Doll is awful. It's really boring. It's a torture to get through the whole movie. But I picked it up because I really wanted to see Tales from the Quad Dead Zone. I'm pretty sure it's awful, but I've heard so much stuff about it, and it's the only way we can get it for a pretty cheap price in comparison to the VHS, which is really, really expensive. And I also picked up Things, which I saw a review of this movie on Red Letter Media, and the review was just so hilarious that I said, you know what, this movie's going to be awful, but from what they're saying, it's a movie that you should at least watch once. And I like those movies that are so bad they're good. So perhaps I can learn a thing or two about how not to make a movie. So yeah, Things and a double feature of Black Devil Doll and Tales from the Quad Dead Zone. Now we're getting into the last couple of movies that I have here. I got Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. I first saw this movie on Shudder. And if you're not familiar with Shudder, Shudder is a streaming service, and I had heard about this movie through a friend, and they told me it was a good movie, and I saw it on Shudder, and I was really impressed by it. And this movie, if you've never seen it, check it out. It's probably one of the better horror comedies of this decade. It's well directed, it's well acted, it pays tribute to a lot of classic horror movies, especially the slasher genre. And it'd be great if they do a sequel. I would see any movie with these two characters because they're hilarious It's really enjoyable. You check this movie out if you come across it. You will not be disappointed, I promise. The next two, I probably cannot say the same thing about these two movies. They look awful, but whenever I see like big tarantulas or big bugs or something on a cover, I have to pick them up. And that's Stung and Lavantula. This is made through the Sci-Fi Channel. I'm pretty sure both of these movies are awful, but they had a gift card from Best Buy, so I got these two pretty much for like $5 in total. So I used my little discount, but I'm pretty sure these movies are not very good. And the last movie I got, well, the last two, it's a movie that I wanted to see in theaters, but I missed it, and I'll eventually be watching it, and that is Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal and Rachel McAdams. This is from the same director as The Equalizer, and I really like The Equalizer, so hopefully this movie is really good. If anybody knows about this movie, feel free to let me know. Don't spoil it, just, let me know what you thought about it. And the last one, I just got this today. I came across this at TJ Maxx, and TJ Maxx rarely, if ever, carries DVDs, but they had this really nice box set, and I picked it up. And it's Thriller Theater. This brings 10 movies. It brings The Deep, Jagged Edge, and Justice for All, Absence of Malice, Money Train, Under Suspicion, Red Rock West, A Soldier Story, To Die For, and Against All Odds. I've seen To Die For before. It's an okay movie. The other ones I've never seen, and I paid $12.99 for it, and it looks really nice. Let's open it up. Oh, watch out! Look at this. Ain't that nice? That's actually very nice. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, it actually comes like in a little pack with the movies inside. This is very, very nice. For $12.99, that's a bargain. It's really nice little set. So anyway, guys, that's my DVD and Blu-ray update for November. I will be sharing soon my Western DVD collection. I've gotten a lot of stuff since then, and stay tuned for my two upcoming reviews. Both of which are for the same movie. It's for Spectre, James Bond 007 movie that just came out. One will be a spoiler-free review, and the other one's going to be with all the spoilers for those who've already seen the movie. So stay tuned for those two reviews. Until next time.